Damn. Anyways, we having any other events or anything
For lack
tonight?
of a better word.
Motherfucker.
However, I have
I was here for the interrogation
search
and the event.
and I also have new things for you to work on as well.
Well, I'm making food right now and my friend kind of wants to play Ark.
Were either of you actively busy at the current moment?
There's a monitor?
He teleported me away, so I'm gonna try to listen to him.
I gotta try to microwave this quick. I'm about to bother or fuck up that monitor's day, man. I'm fucking around, but I do want to hear what the monitor's saying.
He teleported me away, so I'm in a third location, like talking to him. So I need you to like not talk as much. Not talk as much.
Okay, damn, you could just said clear comms.
Not talk as much.
I'll talk to you later.
Very good.
I told you multiple fucking times.
I have
I'm
many
talking
things to discuss, and I will try to keep it brief so I may return you to where you last were. Before you ask any questions, we are currently within a subsection of Jack Krula's support base. I've utilized what's left of the local teleportation grid to bring you here. And before you inquire about this teleportation grid, no, it does not work to its fullest extent. It was heavily fragmented in Jack Krula's main support area to being destroyed. The teleportation grid only works at a 15% operational capacity, which means I was only able to do a local teleportation. We will not be able to use it for any other ease of travel across the planet. But with that being said,
sound muted.
I shall show you my findings to set you a new task at hand. Please follow me across the light bridge. So you all should be very well versed by now as my search for the missing Ancilla and for what happened to Jack Krula's main support area and which caused it to be destroyed. You may also know that I have come up with next to no results. However, I fortunately have an update to that. I have procured some results, but the results that I am not quite satisfied with. These reclaimers you are at war with, their government, what is their official designation? Indeed, what are they called? Your batch of reclaimers and the interlopers the green one leads has many, many names. I'm sure the reclaimers you've war with also have names of their own. The Gal Ministry of Protection, and Gal is your designation for this planet, correct? Excellent. Well, this gal, Ministry of Protection, I believe may have their hand in my investigation to some degree. I will explain further. Since I had been finding next to no results in my search originally, I decided to turn to this warring government you're with. Now, before you ask, no, I did not reveal myself to these reclaimers. Did not make any such contact with them at all. I simply entered the city you war over and breached my way through their information systems. I didn't find much in their information systems, to be quite honest with you, Reclaimer, but I did find some hints as to what might lead me in my path. The hints I have discovered have pointed to an individual with the name of Arlo Cassile. Does this name ring any sort of bell to you, Reclaimer?
Leadership, okay.
Cassile, Reclaimer. I believe in your human language it would be spelled C-A-S-I-L-L-E.
Present.
The leadership of Gal, with the title called President. So he's the leader of these Reclaimers you war against.
Indeed.
Very good. I have found hints that point in his direction, and also seem to point us in multiple other directions too. As I said previously, I did not find much, or at least I didn't find enough to satisfy my need for answers. However, what I did discover after breaching deep in the Republic's information systems is that this Arlo Cassile appears to be in the know of our missing Ancilla. You are a new face, Reclaimer. I do not recognize you. You up to date on my search and who I'm looking for and why?
I would be able to find this easily.
Going on. Perhaps things wouldn't have been the way as they are. Now. Most likely, but I've yet to encounter one. But we are not. Me personally, I know a hand. There's my companion, Unyielding Faith.
Yep, so that is the guy. Okay.
Indeed, that is my companion. That is not the target I am looking for. The target I am looking for is an Ancilla called, and the couple ones I conversed with on the Ark informing me of my task on this planet. And then, of course, there's my target, the Ancilla named Intrepid Eye. Does this name sound familiar to you? I know the green one is up to date with this name, but again, you are a new face. Well, to make sure you're properly informed, Intrepid Eye is the missing Ancilla I am looking for. They were the custodian of Jack Krula's support base, who has since gone missing with its destruction. This Arlo Cassile individual that I have spoken of, from what I found in the Republic's information systems, he appears to have knowledge of this Ancilla. How he came to know of this Ancilla and her existence, I am unsure. But the knowledge of the Ancilla's existence implies that he also understands of Jack Krula's existence as well. However, that is mere speculation. I've only confirmed that he knows of the Ancilla. Furthermore, I have also uncovered additional information regarding this president. Apparently, around the events of Jack Krula's destruction, he had been coinciding with a group of interlopers. From what I read in the information systems, these interlopers had called themselves the Keepers of the One Freedom. Does this name sound familiar to either of you? Then you are somewhat versed on them. Excellent. From what I understand, this Arlo Cassile individual had conspired with the Keepers of the One Freedom around the time of Jack Krula's destruction. Now, whether they have a hand in Jack Krula's destruction or not is still to be determined. In truth, I have not made any sort of deduction as to who was responsible. However, Arlo Cassile was aware of the Ancilla, and it appears he had used the Keepers of the One Freedom as a vessel for attempting to claim Intrepid Eye for himself. Now, evidently, this is unsuccessful given the fact that Intrepid Eye's presence is not on this planet, nor do I even know where Intrepid Eye is to begin with. But I find it highly concerning that this hostile reclaimer figure knows about my target and potentially knows more about the nature of Jack Krula and this planet.
sucks. Oh boy.
Indeed, I did. But I also mentioned that since we do not know Intrepid Eye's location at all, scouring this entire galaxy would be fruitless. Anyway, I shall continue back on topic. I did some more investigating in the deeper sections of the Republic's information systems and found a little bit more about this Keepers of the One Freedom they speak of. For instance, this ship here, which appears to be of interloper design. I do not know the designation of this ship. I do not know if it had a name. I know next to nothing about this ship, so if you have any information about it, sharing it would be greatly appreciated. However, this ship is apparently the one that they had used during their activities here on the planet some years ago during Jack Cool's destruction. Now, where this ship is currently at in the galaxy, I am unaware of.
Ah, shit.
However, this ship was apparently commanded by an interloper that the information systems had named as Castor. Castor, and for you in particular, interloper, from what I understand, appears to be one of your ape-like interloper species. I believe the Reclaimers refer to them as brutes. I am unsure. I am not versed in your hierarchical system races. But if that is the title that you suggest for an individual of his type that would commandeer a ship like this, then I would assume yes. Back on topic. This information that I found doesn't necessarily make my search any easier. From what I understand, the Keepers of the One Freedom do not have any presence on this planet. Their locations in the galaxy unknown, so they are entirely irrelevant. As for this president figure you speak of, Arlo Cassile, he would most certainly give us some more clues as to what happened. However, given the fact you're in active war with his government, I assume locating and acquiring him would be rather difficult. So unfortunately, despite this information I have found, we can effectively do nothing with it. But we at least know a little bit more as to what happened. With this being said, though, I think it has become quite clear that I will have to expand my investigations to further reaches of this planet. So, once again, I'm asking for you, Reclaimers and Interlopers, to assist me with another endeavor. The jungles in which you wage war in, the ones Reclaimers refer to as Montero, you're both familiar with it, yes? Very good. The main section of Jack Kula's support base had originally been underneath a very large and vast cavern system underneath the Montero jungles. These caverns, although difficult to traverse, would eventually lead you to Jakula on foot. Now, given the destruction of Jakula, I do not find it to be worthwhile to go to the site of destruction at all. However, much like this subsection here, there are various other subsections that sprawl all across the planet. Some of those subsections being within Montero and being relatively unscathed from the damage that the main section had. So with that said, apologies, my subroutines are quite busy right now handling all these different scans the other reclaimers are trying to make.
Okay, so big tunnels. That's obviously been the portion.
Anyway, I shall continue. It will not be worthwhile to go to the main site of destruction. However, there are various other subsections, like this one, that sprawl all across the planet. Some of these subsections of Jakula being within these Montero jungles. Sometime over the course of the next week, we are going to go into this jungle to one of the different subsections where I will investigate the information systems there to try to piece together what exactly happened. Hopefully, with the subsection's close proximity to the main section that's been destroyed, there's probably some information preserved there about the events that transpired. This should be a rather simple endeavor. The only reason why I ask for your assistance is because this part of the jungle is heavily controlled by this hostile force you call the Republic. Granted, I can neutralize them by myself if I wish to, but that would be a timely endeavor, and I also do not want to expose myself to this hostile Reclaimer faction. Unfortunately, no. As I said previously, the teleportation grid is heavily damaged due to the main section being destroyed. I was only able to utilize it this time because of your close proximity to this subsection, which has its teleportation grid relatively intact. However, due to the main section being destroyed, that means the grid cannot encompass the planet like it did, so I can only teleport within a limited range. But have no fear. I will personally go to the site of our mission, and I will find a spot in which the Republic does not occupy as best. This spot will be where I have you all insert from. That way we can maximize my secrecy and your safety. You will simply be defending me as I root around in the subsection's information systems. That's all you will be doing. I do not need any particular assistance with finding information. I can do that well enough on my own. As I said previously, I would particularly like to not have to deal with this opposing Reclaimer faction. Both in part because it would be a timely endeavor to neutralize myself, and with the fact that this Arlo Cassile individual is already aware of Jack Krula and its custodian, I believe it would be in my best interest and yours if he did not discover my presence on this planet. So that is all. You're simply doing the dirty work for me of clearing out these Republic forces. Once you do that, you'll simply just defend the area if they send reinforcements, while I search the information repository for anything relevant to the main section's destruction. Well, of course they do. We had to find some way to store information after we were cut off from the domain. No. The main section of Jack Krula was, but again, it was a vast and sprawling cave system that was very difficult to traverse. I am unaware if any of your Reclaimer kind or interlopers ever managed to voyage these caves and make it to Jack Krula. I would be very much surprised if anyone did. However, Jack Krula has multiple entry points. All of them very difficult, and most of them well hidden. So how Jack Krula was accessed to be destroyed, I'm unsure of. But as for the subsections, they are relatively secure. No one will find them if they are not looking for them. And even then, if you are looking for them, you will probably not find the entry points anyway. For instance, this subsection does not have a physical access point. That's why I had to make use of the teleportation grid. Their name is not Jack Reclaimer. Their name is Intrepid Eye. Is this who you refer to? Oh, I understand your confusion. No, Intrepid Eye is the custodian ancilla of Jat Krula. Jat Krula had been destroyed multiple years ago. Intrepid Eye, as a result, has turned up missing. And I am here to discover the reasons as to both. Does this clear up your confusion, Reclaimer? Not necessarily. The key could be anything here. Intrepid Eye is simply just a missing ancilla. The Ecumene does not like missing ancillas. It is my job to find this missing ancilla and retrieve them. Whether she's the key to anything in this investigation or not is to be determined. But currently, my task is to investigate the destruction of Jat Krula and who was responsible, and locate and retrieve Intrepid Eye, its custodian. Since you mentioned it, however, Reclaimer, from what information I've gathered, I'm starting to believe that this Arlo Cassile individual might be a potential key, but again, I am not sure. But that is also why we are going to a subsection near where the main section was, so I can scour for further information as to what happened. Does this make sense to you? To put it in a perspective you can better understand, the key to this issue is whoever destroyed Jat Krula. Who that is, I do not know, and who I wish to find out, as I suspect that the ones responsible most likely have Intrepid Eye in their custody. But again, I know next to nothing. Thus, the investigation continues. Do you require further clarification? Very good. What of you, Green One? I know you have a better understanding of the situation at hand given my multiple talks with you. But this... I believe I answered this inquiry already, Green One. Do you wish me to repeat my response? Of course, I will provide all the relevant information you require once the day of my task is at hand. In addition to that as well, I'm also going to be assisting you in further ways. I think we can all agree here that if you were to randomly come out to a spot in the jungle that is behind enemy lines, it would look a bit suspicious as to what you're doing. Especially since the subsection's location is not anywhere near any significant Republic installations. This location of the jungle is barren jungle, nothing more. Now, of course, these hostile reclaimers can probably think you're inserting behind enemy lines to rout them, flank them, or any other such reason. But that will cause them to ask questions. When they ask questions, they will want to investigate. When they want to investigate, they run the risk of finding Jack Krula's subsection and finding me. I will not allow such a thing. So therefore, I will be enacting a plan of mine in order to further mask your true purpose. That's not exactly what I had in mind, Green One. I think you will like my idea better. As I explained earlier, this new information I found it from breaching the information repositories on the Republic's end. Not only am I able to breach their information repositories, I can effectively take control of all of their electronic devices. All of it. I can mask myself to be whoever I want via these electronic devices. I could effectively take full control of the entire government, and not a single person would ever suspect a thing. Therefore, that is what I intend to do exactly, in a matter of speaking at least. What I'm going to do to mask your arrival at Jack Krula's subsection is I'm going to infiltrate the Republic's information repositories and take control of their command structure within this Ministry of Protection you had mentioned. Feigning myself as their command leaders, I will structure a series of orders and plans that will effectively have the Ministry of Protection set up a post directly on top of Jack Krula's subsection for one reason or another. The reason as to why they're there will not matter to us. But I will orchestrate that the Ministry of Protection sets up a permanent post here. I will make this post semi-important, so that way it makes some sense for you to attack it. And with this semi-important false post set up, and with you attacking it, this Gal Republic should not have any suspicious questions at all as to why you're there. Why you will be there is blatantly obvious. There is a semi-important post. You are there to destroy it and win this war. Indeed it is. A rather interesting approach. Do you not agree, Reclaimer? Indeed. Your Reclaimer systems and the Green One's Interloper systems are next to nothing compared to what we were capable of. Therefore, I should have no issue at all orchestrating this false post as your cover. Now, of course, when the day comes for you to carry out my task at hand, I'm also going to falsify mission packets for your people so that way we don't have any information leaks. Now, of course, I will be truthful and honest with your people as well. I will tell in full detail what we are doing. However, I am not going to explain to your lesser-ranked reclaimers the true nature of this Republic outpost. All everyone else will know, with the exclusion of your command staff, of course, and your peers amongst your command, is that the Ministry of Protection blocks us from accessing a subsection of Jack Krula. albeit unknowingly, but they block us nonetheless. Therefore, we are going to attack and destroy the posts so that way I may gain access to the subsection beneath the ground. This is all that will be known to the lesser ranks within your military castes. Now, of course, your command peers, the ones at the higher level, you may share this information with freely, as I doubt you would be in the positions you were if you were prone to information leaks. But your lesser ranked individuals, at least the ones that are in positions where they cannot be trusted, as I am sure there are lesser ranked individuals in more higher positions of status, cannot be told of the true nature of the post. They cannot be told of this scheme we are planning to mask our arrival at the location. Do you both understand this? Very good. I do not have a set day in which I want to embark on this journey, but you will know it when I am ready. In addition, to you specifically, Reclaimer, the green one I've already told this to previously, but I have access to your basic level communications. For example, the alarms that the other Reclaimers have been making, I have been listening into this entire time. Now, to give clarification, no, I do not have access to your deeper level communications. As you pointed out, with my level of control, I can access at a whim. When I first made contact with you and the interlopers here, I did go through your information repositories. However, once I got to a deep enough level, I managed to find levels of encryption and restricted access that was abnormal from basic level access. I deduced there was probably a good reason for this, so for everyone's privacy, I did not breach into it. This also includes your communication systems. I have access to only the basic level that most other individuals in both your castes would normally have. I have not granted myself access to your deeper level communications. However, of course, if you do wish I have that, I can always grant myself it, or you can give me it. But I am not suggesting nor asking that you do. I'm simply stating a fact. Does this revelation concern you, any Reclaimer? I figured this sentiment would be positive. Anyway, that is the full scope as to why you're visiting here today. I have nothing further to discuss, unless if you two wish to bring anything to me. You do not need to prohibit anything, Reclaimer. You will not pose any sort of risk to Jack Rule's subsection. Even if you did bring high ordnance that normally would pose a risk to the structural integrity of an underground facility, you still will not pose a risk of damaging anything. So I would not concern yourselves over the level of ordnance or destruction you caused during this assault. With that said, how you take care of this outpost is entirely up to you once the day comes. The outpost means nothing to me. It is a scheme, a mere cover. You can leave it intact or reduce it to ash. Yes, it will, Reclaimer, but it'll be sometime within the next 5-6 days in your calendar tracking. Somewhere 5 to 6 days in your Reclaimer time. I just haven't decided specifically when. Because of course I will have to infiltrate the Republic and scheme this whole semi-important facility. This is an acceptable approach, Green One. When my scheme is successful, I will alert you and the other Reclaimers here, at least the important ones who should be in the know of this scheme, of its success. I recommend that you send scouting parties to conduct the low-level reconnaissance missions on this outpost. That way, they will not be wholly surprised when we do attack the facility. Does this fall in line with your suggestion? I do not believe a sudden redirection will make them suspicious any. Again, if I scheme this post to be semi-important into which it makes sense for you to be assaulting it, I don't think they'll be caught off guard by being attacked after scouting parties recon the area. That is to say, if they even did catch the recon parties, but the point stands. Either way, I do not think they'll be suspicious if we launched an assault on the post. But worry not, Green One, for my scheme has yet to come to fruition. Once it does, and once it's successful, I will have ensured that all contingencies are covered, that all tracks are covered, that all traces are covered, and that everything falls in line to what makes sense for this war you wage. You need not worry about the failure of this scheme. Now, should this task be successful on our end, then it will be more than within reason to believe that you are all trustworthy individuals. That is not to say I do not trust you now. Your combat prowess against the Flood during that outbreak was more than impressive. But that was not a direct assistance with my investigation. That was simply the prelude for me to determine if I can even trust with handling a task such as this. This mission will be the first you to take a direct hand in assisting me with this investigation. If our task is to succeed on this undetermined day, then I shall reward you and all other reclaimers and interlopers with limited access to this subsection. Limited being that I will not accept all as visitors, but I will accept some on specific days. I'm sure both you reclaimers and interlopers will be quite pleased with direct access to this facility, especially for the curious ones such as your Deacon King. No. As I said before, finding the entrances to any of Jack Krula's sections are very difficult. You will not find them if you are not looking for them, and you will not find them even if you are looking for them. Once our task is complete, we can leave completely. We do not have to leave any sort of garrison behind to protect the facility. Rest assured, the facility has its own defensive systems in place in case if it does get breached by an unauthorized force. Well, that should conclude the nature of our meeting here. Do either of you two have anything else you wish to discuss before I return you to where you previously were? Very good. I will return you both to where you were previously. You may discuss the nature of your disappearance to your peers and your lesser ranked individuals. However, as I stated previously, do not reveal the true nature of this ministry scheme I am going to orchestrate. That is for your high level individuals only. I will be seeing you both very soon.